Have you ever felt like you're caught in a total war with yourself over someone? You know, your heart is just screaming one thing while your mind is over there waving every single red flag it can find. It is probably one of the most confusing and frustrating parts of dating, and today we are going to break down that exact internal battle.
So let's get right into it. This is how it usually plays out, right? Your heart tells you, oh, I'm just attracted to men who challenge me. It feels exciting. It feels like passion, like real chemistry. But your mind, looking at the exact same situation, has a totally different story. It says, no, you're not attracted to a challenge. You're attracted to men who reject you. And that feeling, that's not passion. You're just confusing anxiety for attraction. It's two completely different realities based on the very same experience.
And right here, this is the core of the whole thing. It really is a war inside you. Your heart runs on pure emotion. The butterflies, the intensity, the what-ifs. It remembers all the good moments. But your mind is like a detective. It doesn't care about feelings. It operates on evidence. It's looking for patterns, tracking behavior, and remembering all those inconsistencies your heart wants to forget. So, why does the heart almost always seem to win this argument? I mean, even when our logical mind knows something's off, why is that feeling so powerful? Well, it turns out the reason is actually biological. Our emotions are chemically supercharged, which makes your heart's voice just so much louder.
Okay, so let's talk about the first culprit, dopamine. This is the reward chemical. So when that person who's been distant finally gives you a little breadcrumb of attention, you know, that text you've been waiting for all day, your brain gets a huge hit of this stuff. It feels incredible, and it literally creates an addictive cycle where you keep chasing that feeling of validation.
And then you've got oxytocin. We call this the bonding hormone. During those moments of affection, it doesn't matter how short or inconsistent they are, your body releases this chemical, and it makes you feel deeply, deeply connected. This is the hormone that makes you think, but this one feels different. I can feel it, even when all the evidence says otherwise.
And this is maybe the biggest mix-up of them all, adrenaline. That feeling of butterflies, that heart-pounding excitement you get when he's being unpredictable. You guys, that's often not passion. It's a stress response. Your body is pumping out adrenaline because the situation is unstable, and your heart is mistaking that anxiety for intense, romantic excitement.
Okay, so with all these powerful chemicals basically hijacking our brains, how in the world are you supposed to know who to listen to? Thankfully, there is a framework we can use to start finding some much-needed clarity.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Figuring out the difference between a true gut intuition and just an anxious obsession. That is the key to a healthy love life. And the answer really, it lies in paying super close attention to what your body is actually feeling and what their actions are actually showing you.
Okay, let's break this down because the difference here is everything. It's safe to trust your heart when what you feel is a calm excitement. You're interested, you have those light, fun butterflies, but you can still go about your day and focus on your own life. But you have got to trust your mind when that excitement feels more like an anxious obsession. When you literally can't stop checking your phone, your stomach is in knots with dread, and you're analyzing every single word, that's not love, that's stress. And this brings us to probably the most important rule of all. Behavior doesn't lie. Your heart can get on board when their actions consistently match up with their words. If they say they like you, they actually make plans with you. Simple. But if their actions contradict their words, like they say you're special but they're keeping you a secret, or they say they miss you but they never follow through, that is your mind's cue to step in and take the lead. It's seeing the pattern that your heart desperately wants to ignore.
So, if you find that your heart and your mind are constantly at war over the same type of person again and again, well, there's usually a much deeper reason for that. And this brings us to a hard but really transformative truth about why we're attracted to the people we are. And this is the question you have to start asking yourself. Is this feeling really my heart leading me towards love? Or is it an unhealed part of me, my wound, leading me back towards a familiar kind of pain? The answer to that can change everything. See, our brains are wired to seek out what feels familiar, not necessarily what's healthy for us. So if the love you learned about in childhood was inconsistent, or if it felt conditional, like you had to earn it, your heart might subconsciously seek out partners who make you feel that exact same way. It's not because you're choosing pain on purpose, it's just choosing the pattern it already knows how to survive.
But here's the really good news. You are not stuck in this cycle forever. You can absolutely learn to bridge that gap between your heart and your mind. So let's walk through 3 really practical tools you can start using, like today.
First up, the 24-hour rule.
When you feel that frantic urge to react or to chase, just wait for 24 hours. Give your logical mind some time to catch up to your emotions. Second, the friend test. Ask yourself, what would I tell my best friend to do right now? We are brilliant at giving advice to other people. Apply that same clear-eyed wisdom to yourself. And third, journal the pattern. Seriously, write it down. When you see the hard evidence from your last 3 relationships laid out in black and white, what your heart felt versus what your mind saw, the patterns your mind has been trying to show you become impossible to deny.
And all of this leaves us to the ultimate goal here. This isn't about your mind winning some war against your heart. It's not about silencing your feelings or becoming cold and logical. It's about getting them to work together, as a team, as partners.
So let's try to reframe how we see our mind. She is not the enemy. She's not being negative or overthinking. She's being protective. She remembers every single time you've been hurt, and her only job is to protect you from feeling that pain again. So stop calling her paranoid. Start calling her your guardian.
And on the flip side, your heart isn't stupid or naive. She is trying to find connection, to believe in the beautiful possibility of love. She's the part of you that keeps you open to joy and all the amazing things life has to offer. So stop calling her foolish. Start calling her hopeful.
Because when you finally unite them, everything changes. The heart's hope points you in the direction of love, and the mind's guardianship makes sure that the path you're on is actually safe. This partnership, your hope plus your guardian, that is the real formula for a healthy, balanced love.
So ultimately, the question isn't which one to trust, but how you can get them to start trusting each other. It's a practice, for sure, but it is one that can completely change the way you navigate your love life. If you want to dive deeper into this, you can find a lot more at @HerHereHerMind.